Hi guys, welcome back to another Chat Spat. Now with this Chat Spat, I took a poll. I made a poll in my beauty Facebook group and I had about 7 or 8 topics that I've been looking into and really wanted to bring here on my channel and on Chat Spat and talk to you guys about, get your opinions on. But there were so many, I needed to know the top 3 that people really wanted to talk about. So the ones that we're going to be talking about today are parents too soft on kids these days? Is the customer always right? And is it fair that athletes and actors get paid millions of dollars? So if that is something that you guys are excited to talk about, that you have opinions on, that you want to hear my opinion on, then just keep watching. And please do not mind the rat's nest that is my hair right now. I just had to run laps around my house because there is an imposter cat and he keeps trying to get in my house and he looks just like my cat. So it's been hell. Just bear with me. So the first topic we're going to talk about today is, are parents too soft on their children today? Now that is a loaded question. I really did want to talk to you guys about this just because I am a parent. So I have some pretty concrete feelings on this, but it's not just a one-way type of answer. So I really want to get your guys' opinions on this as well, especially if you are a parent. I mean, even if you're not a parent, you can still have an opinion on this. I mean, it takes a village to raise a child. So I was doing some research on this and I did find out that when it comes to spanking, a lot of people have the misconception that it is illegal these days to spank your child, and it is not. It is actually legal to spank your child in all 50 states. Now, they call it corporal punishment, and the only way that it becomes illegal is if it's excessive or deemed neglectful or abusive by the state, but they're very vague. I read up on at least the New York State laws of it, and they're very vague on what they consider excessive or abuse or neglect. So really, you're walking a fine line with that. And I feel like how scared parents are these days to be arrested or have their child taken away from them for the way that they discipline them or punish them is really the number one reason why parents are so soft on their kids these days. Another reason might be that most of our parents got the shit kicked out of them back in the day. I know my dad and my mother, they got hit with sticks, switches, but they're sticks, with belts, with open and closed hands. I mean, they got the crap beat out of them constantly. And my parents growing up did not do that to me. I think I got spanked twice, my whole life growing up, twice. And it wasn't even really what you would call spanking. I think I cried more because I knew I was getting spanked than it actually hurt. They kind of sucked at it, to be honest. But they only spanked me twice, so how good were they supposed to be? My personal opinion on this is that the state is micromanaging us as parents, and I feel like they're doing that more and more. Parents are becoming more scared to discipline their kids. And on top of that, they're also becoming more lazy to discipline their kids. Now, if you see kids on the playground, half of them are assholes. And I mean, I don't mean to be rude or anything, but kids these days are jerks. They have no manners at all. I don't know how many people, even adults my age, they just were not raised right. They do not have the manners that we used to be instilled as children back in the day. Like, it's just not there anymore. Parents are letting their kids get away with anything and everything. Bullying is just rising up because these kids are not afraid to go home. They're not afraid of any of the consequences. They're not afraid of any discipline because parents just are too soft on their kids. Kids aren't doing their homework. They're not becoming a good member of society because parents are being too soft on them. And I feel like it's either parents are being too soft or parents are beating the shit out of their kid. And there really does have to be a fine line with that. And I think that each kid needs to be disciplined differently. Like with my children, with my daughter and with my son, I have to discipline both of them in completely different ways. My daughter has a lot of mental issues just like I do. She's got ADHD, anxiety, she has depression, and they're pretty sure she has bipolar as well, but she's very young and they're pretty scared to diagnose her with that until she hits puberty. But before she was diagnosed with anything, we just thought that she was a problematic child, that she just didn't want to follow rules, so I spanked her, and it didn't work because of her mental disabilities. It just triggered her to get more angry. She never responded to me spanking her ever. So today, after learning everything that that she's going through, everything that's wrong, everything that, we've learned from her mental disabilities, we've learned to discipline her differently. We do not put our hands on our children at all. Does that mean that I won't ever have corporal punishment in my house? No, because if my kids are bad, I will put my hand on their ass. And I don't ever want to be like, oh yeah, you should beat the shit out of your kids, because you should never beat your children. It's completely different to spank your kid versus beating the crap out of them. I don't think any child is ever going to respond mentally or physically okay to having the crap beat out of them. But I think it's just as detrimental if you do not discipline them in the way that is right for them as an individual child. And I think that a lot of parents are too soft, and they're raising children who are bullies, children who have no values, children who have no manners, and it is becoming a huge problem, because now we're seeing that in adults. It's not just a child problem, it's an adult problem, it's a society problem. So I really want to know your guys' opinions on this, because it's really hard. It's really hard to publicly come on here and be like, I think you should spank your kids, because your kid might not respond to being spanked. Your kid might respond to timeouts. Your kid might respond to having something taken away from them, from being grounded. Or your kid may only respond to being spanked. I mean, every kid is different. And we learn this from the moment we push one out of our vagina. They tell you every child is different. I mean, they start that from pregnancy. They say every pregnancy is different. I freaking hated that. I heard that like a million times when I was pregnant. And I was like, fuck you. But anyway, getting back to the point, every child is different. The discipline that they need is different. The love, the nurturing that they need is different. It differs with each child. But something that I do know is each child needs that nurture, but each child needs that discipline. You cannot be too soft on your kid, or they are going to grow up being an asshole in society. And nobody wants an asshole kid. Nobody wants to deal with an asshole kid. So I really want your guys' opinions. I want to know, if you're a parent, do you use corporal punishment in your household? When is taking that too far? When is it too much? I really want to know when you can take it too far. Like, what's your opinion on taking it too far with corporal punishment? What works for your kid, what doesn't, and what are your views on spanking? Some people are totally against it, and some people are like, I will smack that ass. I definitely want to know your guys' opinions, though. I mean, I really think this is an important subject, especially for parents or people who plan on being parents. I mean, it's us. It's us raising the next generation. And I think it's very important that each child is instilled with manners and values and just raised right. But when each kid is different, that's a really hard line to follow, a really hard line to walk. Okay, moving on to, is the customer always right? Now, I worked a lot of retail, and I have had jobs. I know a lot of people seem to think that I've always been a stay-at-home mother who never worked. I've actually only been out of work for 3 years since my son was born. Before that, worked all the time. Now, before that, I actually worked in the medical field, but I worked with a lot of their family members, which is kind of like customer service, I guess you could say. But then I also worked a lot of other jobs that were straight out customer service, and I got it drilled into my brain all the time that the customer was always right, no matter what. Do I think the customer is always right? Hell no. Nope. No. I believe that the reason why corporate or your manager or the owner of the business that you're working with is going to tell you that the customer is always right, because they just want the customer to be happy and buy something. They want them to leave their establishment happy and telling their friends about them, about coming back and repurchasing. They want you to take all the bullshit that customer is going to give you so they can pocket all that money. Anybody who works retail or anybody who works in customer service knows that the customer is not always right. Half the time, they don't know their hand from their ass. They don't know what they're talking about. They're rude. They'll swear at you. They'll even sometimes get physical with you. They don't know what they're looking for or talking about half the time. So how is the customer always right? That saying comes from the very top, the owner, the management, the corporation. They want you to think that the customer is always right so you can make them happy. So they will spend a lot of money there. And so they will get rich while you're working a minimum wage job, taking all the abuse and bullshit from those customers who are always right. You guys know, because some of you have your bad days and you're a dick to someone who's working customer service or retail as well. And you know you're not right. You're just being a dick at that day. Everybody knows that telling a customer who is wrong or who is an asshole, saying, hey, you're a dick and that is right. Everybody knows that doesn't look good for the business or the establishment, and your manager's going to be super pissed. So they try to instill in you that the customer's always right, so you will always be kind and very nice to them and have manners no matter what they are projecting at you, just to get that sale. So let me know if you guys agree or disagree, what you think about it. I'm really interested in your guys' opinions on this one. Now, the last topic about, is it fair that actors and athletes, I almost forgot, actors and athletes get paid millions of dollars? Do we think it's fair? My opinion on this, and it is strictly just my opinion, you guys. This is always, Chat Spat is always just my opinion. My opinion. I think that it's complete bullshit. I think that America, us as Americans, we have made it so these people can get paid that much money because we're more interested in being entertained than any other issue that is out there that's happening. Do I think that it's right that Jennifer Lopez can shake her ass and get paid $15 million for it in a 3-minute video? No. Do I think that Jessica Simpson making like $30 million in the Dukes of Hazzard just for her boobs is fair? No. And the only reason why I say that is merely because I really feel like that's where all of our money is going. That's the problem with the economy. That's the problem as to why society is the way that it is. I honestly feel like a firefighter, a teacher, someone in the army, someone in the military, Navy, you know, any of them. Someone like that, you know, probation officers and social services workers. People like that should be getting paid how much actors and athletes get paid. But it's all about entertainment. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's right. But I do know why it's happening. Because you are going to pay out the ass to be entertained. The world is an ugly place. It's very depressing. It's hard. It's hard to get through life, you know, and being entertained and entertainment and fun things, that's what you're going to spend your money on, for that little bit of happiness, you know, that little bit of downtime and enjoyment, the movies, you know, watching sports. That's where you want to put your money when you're out working all the time and your job sucks. You know, the only thing that you're looking forward to is getting home and watching that movie with that idiot bimbo, or, you know, going and watching some basketball games or something like that. And no, I don't think it's fair. I really, really do not think it's fair, because there are so many other jobs, other people who do work that is so much more deserving of those millions in this world, but they're just passed over. And I think that it's a huge problem economically and for our society. And it makes me a little embarrassed for our country. It really does. It makes me a little bit embarrassed that someone in the military or cop, they get paid like $18,000 a year, but these celebrities, these athletes have fun. You know, they do things just for entertainment and they get paid millions of dollars. I think that it's ass backwards. What do you guys think? So that is everything that I wanted to talk about in this chat spat. I hope that it made sense. Some of these topics are really hard because I see both ways. You know, I see the right and the wrong. I see this opinion and this opinion, and they both make sense in some way. So it's really hard to have a set opinion on exactly how I feel. But I really just want to have a discussion with you guys about all three of these topics. I want to know your guys' thoughts and opinions on them. If you think that kids, you know, parents are too soft on kids these days, if you think that the customers are always right, if you think that it's fair that they get paid as much as they do, because I just don't. I don't. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys want to discuss. I do have more stuff to discuss in the next chat spat, but if you have something that you really want me to talk about, just leave it in the comments. Private message me. You know, I answer you guys anywhere. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.